All right, parents, here we are for the May edition of Highpoint Clear, trying to make things clear between us and you as the parents. Make sure we get the information communicated. So home groups have been going pretty good. There's pros and cons with any change in life. And here we are 5 months in, and home groups are not for every student. We have, of course, the first week of the month is where things are crazy. A lot of students love that. Some students only love the home group, so they only go to that. But it's just fun to see God working in our leaders and working in our students, and to see spiritual growth, which has been really fun to watch. So I'm going to answer some of your questions again today on this episode, so here we go. All right, let's talk about dating. What is the Highpoint stance? What is my personal stance on dating? What's going to be promoted to your son or your daughter? So I like to let people know what I'm for. I am really for people hanging out in groups. There's beauty in girls having a bunch of guy friends, guys having a bunch of girl friends, just as friends, to hang out in groups. I've seen it so often that couples get on this island, they're over here, and they detach from their friend group. And then all of a sudden, if they break up, which a lot of times that happens, they break up, and then they have no one to go back to. And so I think about 2 Timothy chapter 2 talks about, hey, flee from temptation. And when you're dating in middle school or high school, hormones are raging, and you're just putting yourself in a position to be tempted to do some things that only are reserved for marriage. So the 3 points that I pass on to our students to kind of remind them just where our guidelines are and what God's guidelines are for dating. First guideline is this. You know if you're ready to date if you can, number one, articulate the gospel. What is the gospel? What is the good news? A lot of students, they say, hey, just be a good person, read from your Bible, maybe go to church once a month. So that is not the gospel. So if your student can articulate what is the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ, then they're on track, probably ready to maybe date, but not all the way. Number two is I ask them, where do you run in hard times? So when things get tough, do you run to Jesus or do you run away from Jesus? Because if things get tough in a relationship and they're just going to flee and not learn how to fight and learn how to argue in a healthy way to maintain the relationship, they're probably not ready to be in a relationship. The third thing is, what do your parents say? Some of you give them an age, whether it's 16, and so I want to make sure that they honor you as the parent. And but yeah, I'm just really going to promote that they just wait. Middle school, high school, so much drama and stress. Post-high school, you get more of an opportunity for shopping, looking for that person to date with hopes of hopefully marrying that person. All right, to add on to that, something else that we do at Camp Tadmore for our middle schoolers, that first night at Camp Tadmore, we started this tradition 3 years ago. This will be our 4th season coming up this summer. I think Lucas Simpson got me into this somehow. And so it's become a tradition. But the first night, we just have all the guys from our church in the same cabin, and we do the guy talk. So they all gather there in the cabin, and we just talk about deep stuff. We talk about lust, we talk about pornography, masturbation, all these things that guys, they're talking about already, locker room stuff that we need to process in a healthy way with them. Okay, what does the Bible say about this stuff? What does the Bible say about girls? We just try to press the importance of these guys to understand the woman's body is not an object. It's a beautiful design, and we should respect the ladies. And so we do that talk, and we'll have the girls do the same talk this year at Tadmore. It's tough to find a time in the Foundry or like in home groups to bring this up, because it's like my poor leaders are like, no, please don't make me do this talk. And so that's something that we do at Tadmore. So that's another reason why you should sign up your middle schooler for Camp Tadmore. All right, the other questions I will answer because they're more formal, but I have to answer them from a forest. All right, this year we're trying to do a better job of integrating you, the parents, with the students and with Highpoint, what we're doing. Youth ministry has been famous for like dividing and being anti-family for a long time. We want to be pro-family and pro-you as a parent. So a few things coming up where you can be involved with your students. And so we have the hike on May 19th. We're going to meet at 9:30 in the morning and do a hike. And if you come as a parent, then we're going to put your name in a raffle drawing to win a dinner for your family. So make sure to sign up for that. More information to come of how. And next thing is May 29th and 30th is our last Tuesday and Wednesday of the month of May. So it's parent night. And we'd love for you to come to the Foundry. We're not going to have like an organized youth group that night. Just come to the Foundry. And so we obviously want you just to meet the home group leaders of your son or your daughter. And they want to pray for you. They want to pray for anything that's going on in your life, and it'd be fun for you just to get to meet them and hear their hearts and why they do what they do. Next thing we have is June 15th. Super important date. That is our graduation for 5th graders. I take the baton from Pastor Sean and from them at Highlight, and we do a little ceremony to promote them to Highpoint with myself and our amazing team of leaders. And so the week of June 17th is promotion week. So that Sunday, 5th graders become 6th graders, 8th graders become 9th graders, 12th graders, goodbye. We do that whole thing on the week of June 17th. Camps, let's talk about camps. It's going to be a great summer. I'm a huge fan of Camp Tadmore. So if your student is going into 6th grade, 7th grade, or 8th grade, we have Camp Tadmore. They do a really awesome job as a camp. They blend like insanity and Jesus really well, and I'm a fan of them. So we're going to take our students there July 8th through the 12th. And I'm just a big fan too, because we finally get those students out of their bubble, away from you as the parents, and we can just get away from the insanity of life, and our leaders can do a one-on-one walk with your son or your daughter and to hear where they are in their relationship with Jesus. And it's a powerful time. So if they can't make it to that, I know it's like $330 or something for Camp Tadmore. That's expensive, especially if you have more than one kid going. That adds up quick. We have an alternative. So July 27th through 29th is a thing called We Are Third. So We Are Third is a combining of the Christian youth groups in McMinnville to actually come together and to worship as one, eat food as one, do insane games as one, and to serve as one. Thinking God is first, others are second, and we live as third. That's where we get the title for We Are Third. So it's kind of, you bring your own tent. We meet at New Horizons Church. We did it last summer. It was really cool. We have girls camp on one side, guys camp on the other side. And we're doing this for middle school and high school. We're going to combine this year. And Saturday, the 28th, we just completely serve in McMinnville. We team up with Church on the Hill, and so Pastor Tim and his crew that does the Serve Mac Day. And so we team up and we just go for it. We get students out, involved, be in the hands and feet of Jesus here in town. So those are a few things for this summer. And We Are Third. It's affordable. It's $25, and that's for food and everything else that they need for that weekend. So that's an alternative to Tadmore, but we wish that your student could do both, because it's just different angles of them to encounter Jesus and to kind of do stuff that's awesome for him.